Hey, curious kids, good morning. Kevin here. Today on A Place Called Space, we are going to talk about Voyager's golden record. You might be thinking, Voyager? Golden record? Never heard of it. What is that? Totally cool. So I'm going to tell you all about it today. Now, Voyager, one sec, boom, there it is. So Voyager is a spacecraft. There's two of them, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, that were launched by NASA in 1977. That's before you were born. That's before I was born. That is 42 years ago. We sent two of these spacecrafts, launched them off the surface of Earth, and sent them out into outer space. Now, they went to the far, far reaches of our solar system. So they went by Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And they carried with them this golden record. So you see this here. I'm going to show you something. And boom, there's me. So that's me and my dad. When I was working at NASA JPL, we've got a full-size model of the Voyager spacecraft. So that's full size. So that means we didn't shrink it down, we didn't make it bigger. That's the actual size when it was built and what it is out in space going on for miles and miles and miles. So I was pointing at the golden record. You can see that little thing right in the front there is the golden record. It's the cover. And I was explaining to my dad what it is and what does it mean. So what does it look like? It looks like this. Oh, too many things. So this is our golden record here. This is the cover. So looks kind of weird, right? It's almost like those things that you see in the pyramids, right? Like the hieroglyphs, we call them. Like things that are scratched in like symbols, but it's not words. It doesn't actually say anything like in English or in any other language, but it's like a treasure map. So you can think of the golden record as a treasure, right? And we put it in this spacecraft, sent it out into outer space, and now here's the treasure map that we need to decode to figure out the treasure. So we're going to walk through this treasure map. All right, good morning, Ontario. Thank you for coming back in. Glenn, thanks for tuning in. Just seeing in the comments there that people are joining in. So if you got questions about the Voyager spacecraft or about the golden record as we're going through this, please type them in the little comment box so I can answer them so we can all decode this treasure map and find out what's inside. Okay, now we got this thing over here, but I got one. Oh, it's really reflective. I got one here as well. So let me put this away. So Big Kevin's here. So it is this way. Now I'm going to use my top-down camera in a little bit to show you what the record is. If I could hold on to it, see, gravity just pulls things down right out of my hands. So I bought this. So this is, there we go. This is the cover of the golden record. And inside it has things like this, and it has copies of the records that were sent out in outer space. So they're in here. To unlock this box, we can just kind of open it, but we need to decode this message, and we can open up, and I'll show you what's inside, what are on these records. So we got our gravity back. So let me switch over to my awesome camera, where baby Kevin comes into play. So we've got, there's baby Kevin. Kevin and Kevin. Hey, bud, how you doing? Doing pretty good. How are you? Weird. All right. This is what we're looking for. Now, golden record. Here it is. Let's put it the right way. Cool. Let me turn you so we can keep looking at each other while I walk through this. Okay. The golden record. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, we're going in. Oh, out, 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 out. Yeah. Okay, golden record. Beautiful. Get it all set up. Cool. So why is the golden record gold? Glenn asks. So to answer that question, so gold is something that is very strong, right? And space can be tough and hostile, like there's radiation. One sec, where is it? Boom. Okay, so why are they gold? Very good question. So gold, so we talked about in previous episodes, like different spacecrafts have different color pajamas on them depending where they're going in the solar system, right? So Voyager, see, it's black because it's going way out to the far sides of the solar system. That is about the the thermal, so the heat. Is it staying warm, cold? Black absorbs heat like from the sun better than other colors. But now, the gold has nothing to do with that. The gold pajamas, though, were for spacecrafts that went close to the sun and then really far away. But the gold record itself is to protect it. So gold is strong, and there's a lot of radiation in space. So radiation is like little particles flying all around that can really hurt electronics and break things down. Think of it as like rust, right? So metal here on Earth, metal, I've got metal, right? After a while, like if water gets into it, it can rust if water sits in it, and it turns like brown, right? And it falls apart. It's kind of like what radiation does to things in space. Eventually, it degrades it, it breaks down the stuff, and then it falls apart. So we don't want this to fall apart. So it's made out of gold, and it's going to last 1 billion years. That's how long it would take for space to totally mess up all of the stuff that's on the golden record. So 1 billion years, so it's going to last a very, very long time. So that's why it's gold. Thanks, Glenn, Kevin, and Kevin. Now, baby Kevin, back to my Voyager golden record. Need some water. Stay hydrated. I get so excited about all this space stuff. Okay, let me get a pen, but I'm not going to write on it. I just need to point and show you stuff. Okay, let's walk through it. So this is out in space, right? Let's say you are an alien and you come upon this treasure map. You look at it and you're like, what does it mean? Well, we made this at NASA. Hello from India. Amit, thanks for tuning in. We made this at NASA, partnering with Cornell University to figure out, okay, if a civilization or an alien is smart enough like us, they'll be able to decode this message. So it's an intelligent civilization or intelligent alien. So what do we got here? So this is a record player. This is a top-down look at a record player. So we see the record, that's the little center part, right? Because the record kind of looks like this. So they got the little hole in the middle, circular, right? I need to back up for a second because what is a record, right? One second. I'm back. Okay. I figured I actually need to tell you what a record is to start off with, right? Because we listen to music on our computers, on our phones. Like before phones and computers, we used CDs. So it's it looks like a DVD. Before that was cassette tapes. And before that was these. So this is called a record, and this would have music on it, or sounds. So take it out. It's in a record sleeve. You can pull it out. Yes. So this is a record. I should have started with that. So a record is it's a big disc that holds information. So you can think of it as like a computer chip, right? So the computer chip holds information, and this record here holds songs. And then you can play the record. So this is what a record looks like. So we got the record over here, top down, looks like that. So with that. And then there's this little thing on the side. This little thing. Well, to play a record on a record player, here we go, right here. There's this little thing that comes down. It's a little needle that sits on the top. And then as the record spins, the needle moves inward. And then that's how it reads what's on the record. It's a little needle that's reading all the little bumps. And then that's how it sees the information and sends it out. So I had to tell you what a record is. You might not know that. Okay, so we got the record player. So when we're sending this out there, they don't know what records are, right? But they're like, okay, well, this is what it's supposed to look like on the top. Okay, it's got this little thing. And now, what about all these lines? So there's a bunch of lines. Let me move it over and actually zoom it in here. Zoom in on this part right here. All right. We see these little dashed lines that are going around it. All right, there's our record player. Let me straighten it out just a little bit more. Boom. Dashed lines going around it. So this is a treasure map we're trying to figure out. Well, it's a different language. It's called binary arithmetic. What's that? Well, there's different languages, like English that I'm speaking now, Spanish, hola, ¿cómo estás? There's Korean, 감사합니다, it's the only word I know. But now there's ways that we can have a language with dashes, right? So these dashes, what they say is that as you're going around, so how long or how fast should it spin? It should spin in 3 spin. So how fast should it go around is 3.6 seconds as it's supposed to go around. And what this says is you start on the outside and then it goes inward. Let's see how it starts on the outside. So this is if you're looking at it straight on. This one is if you're looking at it from the top down. And then this one's straight on. So we got our disc. We got our little reader here. It goes from the outside in. And then you got all of this. Some more crazy code. So this crazy code, what it's saying is that for it to read the whole record, so like how long is it? How many songs are on it? What are we listening to? Is about 1 hour. So if it spins one time in about 3.5 seconds, and it's going to be spinning for an hour, and then you get to hear everything. So that's what that means. Now, to get to the actual map portion of our treasure map, got to move it up so you can see it. This is the map. Make sure you can see it all. So I'll just scoot it just a little bit more. So you see that this line comes out all the way over here. Well, we'll come back in. So this is a map. This is an actual map on our treasure map here. And it is 14 stars showing where it came from in the universe. So there are stars called pulsars. And pulsar stars are named because they pulse. So they change in brightness. So it's like the star gets brighter and then fades away, brighter and then fades away. And it can do that at like different rates. It can be like really fast, or it can be like really slow. Or it can like hold for a while, and then it can come forward, and it can come back. So it's like it's getting brighter, so it might look like it's coming forward. So there's 14 of those stars in this map with us right here in the center. And all of these little dashes and lines and crazy stuff, that tells the aliens, the smart aliens that need to figure this out, how fast those stars are going so that they can pinpoint where this thing came from. So this is the map to say, hey, this is where we are with some really bright objects, like a star map is what it is, tells us where we came from. Okay? Now it gets tough. These things, this is crazy. Like, what's this over here? All right, treasure map. This, very simple. This just means that it's video. What? So we send sounds and video out into space. I know you're wondering what's on this record. We're going to get to that after we decode it. We got to decode it. So this says that there's videos, and these dashes again, they tell us like how much time things need to happen. And then this is a little screen, all right? And if you combine these, if you're able to figure out the video signals and the different timing that needs to go into the video, your screen will turn from this into this. And then it's like, okay, cool, that's the first thing we see. And it's a circle so that they have the right, what we call aspect ratio. So the height, like how tall I am, to the width, how wide I am. So if it's a circle, that means it's been done the right way. Okay, last part that we have is this part down here. Kind of looks like little eyeballs, right? Well, this is actually how we tell them to keep time, right? So these are 2 hydrogen atoms, like the basic fundamental state of hydrogen atoms. So hydrogen is the thing, the H in H2O for the water. What stars are mostly made out of. The most abundant thing we have in our universe is hydrogen. It's what makes up almost everything. And you can see that there's little dashes right here. See that one has like a circle on the bottom, one has a circle on the top? Let me see how there we go. There's a circle down here and then a circle up here on the top. So that's the different states. So it can switch from I'm this way, I'm that way, I'm this way, I'm that way. So this hydrogen atom keeps switching back and forth at the exact same time. So it's really, really small, and that's how we set our clocks, is by That's the unit of time between those two things changing. So that's the time that they need, they being the aliens, to figure all this out, right? That's pretty complicated. I mean, that's some tough stuff. Like, where'd it go? It's over here. Like, it's intense. Like, I don't think I could figure out that treasure map. Oh, it's really shiny. Shiny. I don't think I could figure out this treasure map by myself. I would definitely need a lot of help. It's crazy, right? So why did we do this? All right, I talked you through this treasure map. You might not have really understood what was going on, but it's like, okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. All right, this is where it came from, and then this is how you figure out the video. If you did it right, it looks like this. Now, you put some stuff away. We sent these records out into space on our Voyager spacecraft as the sounds of Earth. We're like, okay, we want to send humanity out into space. That's why we did it. I'm like, okay, now what do we need to send out into space? What information should we send to some aliens somewhere that could maybe find this at some point, and then maybe they'll come and find us? So we haven't found aliens. Got my alien here. We haven't found aliens yet. So no one has found these spacecraft. They're still out there, right? Because once you send something into space, it stays there unless it runs into something and breaks apart, or it falls into another planet like Saturn and vaporizes, or it comes back down to Earth and vaporizes. But they're still out there, so they still could be found. Wait, they're really, really far away. But what's on it? That's the important part that we want to talk about, right? There is 116 different images. So images of people, like me, but I'm not there. Images of landscapes, like different things on Earth, like waterfalls and forests. So 116 images on this thing. Now there's also sounds, right? Because it's music. Keep on losing stuff. So it's music, right? So there are different sounds. Actually, sounds of nature, which is really interesting. So it sounds of like dolphins, yeah, whales. Other sounds of like surf and wind. So surf is like the ocean, right? And the wind. So those are the sounds that we hear on the Voyager Golden Record. All right, so we've uncoded this, right? So there's sounds. Ooh, there's also thunder. I forgot there's thunder on there. So we're sending this out. We want to know, what are the sounds of Earth? So move some stuff around. I have so many things in my office right now I need to show you. So here we go. We're going to open it up. So we got those sounds of Earth sleeve. Golden record. All right, let's bring it in close. You see? It's pretty neat. All right, so 116 different images, right? Then there's sounds of Earth. We got surf, which is the ocean. We got wind. We got thunder. And then we got dolphins, whales, and birds. There's bird sounds on there too. And there's music, because that's what we used to use records for. And we still do. We can still use records for music. There's different types of music, from rock to like classical, you know. But my favorite song, and the only one I really know that's on here, is Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good. It's a rock song that's on this record, made in America. And if you've ever seen the movie Back to the Future, the scene where he plays the guitar, that's the song that's on this record, going out into space. Now there's different languages too. So we spoke a greeting. Like, hey, how are you? I'm from Earth. You should come visit us sometime. And we recorded that in 59 different languages. 59 different languages. So that's a lot of languages, right? Did you know that we had that many? There's more than 59 languages on Earth, right? Like I said, I'm speaking English, there's Spanish, Korean, Japanese, Russian, all of that. 59 different languages saying hello. And then there is also sounds of footsteps. Like if you're running, footsteps, it's kind of funny. Speaking of funny, there's laughter. There is laughter on here as well. And what's really interesting is the laughter is from Carl Sagan. Who's Carl Sagan? Well, he was the main scientist on the Voyager missions. So he taught people about space all the time, and he was the main scientist who was like, we should learn about this, we need to learn about that, working with his science team to figure out all the information they're getting from the Voyager spacecrafts. And what different science instruments to put on it. Different science devices. All right, and then the last thing that was on here were written statements. So from the president at the time was Jimmy Carter. Forgot about that for a second. It was Jimmy Carter, and then the head of the UN, United Nations, General Kurt W. was on there. He has a written thing as well, but that's not that fun. Written, not so fun. Music, images, sounds of Earth with like footsteps, laughter, all the sounds of nature. So we have this as like the sounds of Earth that we sent out into the solar system to hopefully one day maybe some aliens can find it, decode our crazy message, our crazy treasure map here, and then play these discs and listen and watch and try and figure it out. Now I'm going to try something with you here. I do have a record player. Just moved it in from the living room, and we're going to see if we can get this golden record to play. All right, so I need to rearrange a few things here. I'll show you what I'm doing. It's, nope, that's the big one. I need the small one. Small one. There we go. All right, so I need to take it off. You can see I'm moving stuff around. All right. Whoa, there's cords. Gotta swing it back here behind the computer. Hi, too close for comfort. Don't worry, going away. There we go, just had to move it. So when I use my computer, see, you can see what's going on back there. Whoa, way too many Kevins. All right, so this is a record player. We're gonna change this around here and here. All right, there's my record player. All right, so I need to open it. All right, and then this little thing keeps it open. So there's a record, so it's in there. All right, okay, so we've got this record here. It's the Beatles. All right, well, we're gonna have to put that aside. So we are gonna take our Voyager golden record here. All right, so what it says is we place it top down. So if you're looking from the top, right, that's what it looks like, just like we saw on the golden record. I know it's a lot of movement. All right, and then let me come down here and looking from the side. So here's our little needle thing, and we need to lift it, and we put it right on the side there, just like that. Okay, now the next part is I'm just gonna turn this dial over here to turn it on. All right, now give me 1 second. I'm going to set this camera down. I know you're looking at some weird stuff over there. Let's go. Okay, so what I want to do, oh, too many little things. I'm gonna set up my tripod here so that we can not have it going all crazy as play the record, and we'll see if it has sounds. Okay, we're trying something new today, so thanks for bearing with me here. We're almost done though, almost done. One more, there it is. Okay, so we have the tripod. Woo. Almost all set up. There we go. All right, tripod, camera. All right, here we go. Coming in, getting the camera set up. Got to move all these things around. Then, boom. Okay, this is gonna look a lot better. Now, hopefully there's less motion sickness going on up there. Sorry for moving you all around, but hang in with me. So we're gonna turn this little dial here. Turn it this way. Okay. See, it starts spinning, but oh, look, the needle wasn't on there enough.
An organization of 147 member states who represent almost all of the human inhabitants of the planet Earth, I send greetings on behalf of the people of our planet.
Listen to that.
We step out of our solar system into the universe seeking only peace and friendship, to teach if we are called upon,
Cool.
to be
Okay.
taught.
I'm gonna move it a little bit more in. Those are birds. You hear the birds? Ooh. Move it a little bit more. Sounds like a lawnmower. Some sort of car, maybe? That's a truck. If you can hear that, that's a truck for sure. Okay, and so records are two-sided. So I'm going to put it on this side, and let me see. There's songs on this one. Okay, so let's just do that. Bring it in. It'll get playing. Here's some songs. All right. There we go. So we just played a little bit of the golden record. I'm back. Okay. That's kind of neat, right? So these are out in space, and if some aliens can decode our crazy treasure map message here, they're going to be able to play these records, listen to some of the stuff that we listen to, and then also see pictures. So I don't have it set up where I can see pictures. That would be way too much for me at the moment, but it's interesting. So Glenn asks, how do they decide what to include on the records, right? Because like, who gets to choose what music? Why are there certain sounds? What languages? So it was chosen between that scientist, Mr. Carl Sagan, who was the principal scientist, the main science person behind Voyager, and Cornell University, which is a college. So it was him and Cornell, and it was a committee. So a lot of people submitted stuff to it, and it was Carl Sagan, Cornell University, and NASA sat there and figured out, okay, what do we want to send? Figuring out what would be the best message to send out into the cosmos for potentially aliens to find at some point. What is a good representation of Earth? So a bunch of people came together, looked at all the information that was submitted, and then decided on these songs were the best, what's the word I'm looking for? The best mix, right? Combination, variety of everything that we have here on Earth. Because if we can only send a record out there with all of Earth, how are we going to do that? There's so many cool things. Like, there's cool t-shirts, cool designs, like astronauts and coffee, this stuff, Legos, humans. All humans are different. We got like 6 billion people, right? Everyone's different, so many different languages. We have to figure out what's the cross-cutting, what is a big mix of things that can try and represent Earth as a whole on just a disc, golden disc. Really difficult to try and do. So there were actually other discs that were sent out previously on different ones, on a different mission called Pioneer 10 and 11. They had different golden discs too with them, but they're not as famous. They're not as known. They're not as cool as the Voyager golden record. So that's what we got. So we got the Voyager golden record here. Let's do a little bit of a summary. So there's a lot of information, a lot of big words, a lot of crazy stuff. This Voyager spacecraft, there's two of them, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, that launched in 1997, 42 years ago. 43 years ago. It's not quite 43 years because they were launched later in the year. And they had this golden record with them that had different parts of the treasure map. So in the top right, it's that top-down look at the record player. That's this one. Then we got the frontward-facing look. The little dashes tell you how long things are supposed to spin and how fast they're supposed to spin. Then we get the map. There it is. The star map that says exactly where it came from. And then the video stuff. So this one says there's video signals. This is the timing of the video. It'll look like this, and if you decode it properly, put it all together, you'll get the circle image there. And then we have our hydrogen atom switching. Switch, 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 switch. And that switch tells us the time difference. So that's how we create clocks. It's like a clock. And time, like the second, is based upon, how fast those are switching. It's not 1 second. They switch really, really fast, and then we times it by something really big to get our 1 second. So all of that allows you to decode, figure out how to play these records on the record player that was in there, to hear all of the sounds of Earth and nature, the surf, so the ocean, the wind, the thunder, the footsteps, the laughter, the birds, the whales, the dolphins, the 116 images, the greeting in 59 languages, and then the two written statements as well. Now there's one more thing that's on there. So I can't show it on here, but somewhere on the record, I think it might be right in the middle, there is a perfectly, as perfect as we can get it, uranium-238. You ever heard about that? So uranium is an element. It's radioactive. You might have heard that. Radioactive, like in the Ninja Turtles, radioactive ooze. So radioactive element, as pure as it can be good, as pure as it can be, is on that record. Now, what does that mean? So it decays. It like falls apart at a certain rate, right? So when you find the record, the aliens can find that little piece of uranium, they can test it, and it will tell them exactly how long the spacecraft or the record has been in space. So we put it on and then we launched it, and then it started falling apart. So they could look at it, see how old it is, and then do some calculations, think real hard, figure it all out, and figure out when it launched. So maybe they find it in 500 million years, half a billion years, it would still be working. Like, oh, this launched from, here's the map, from there, 500 million years ago. Pretty neat. So I saw a question, if the record is double-sided, where is the map? So this is just a cover. So it's behind this. So on the spacecraft, good question. On the spacecraft, we see here, we see, I can't, whoop. I want to like point at that, but I can't. So you see the golden record that's on Voyager right there. So that's the cover. So that's the cover. Think of that as, actually as this. You gotta put it back together. So think of it as like this box. So here's the golden record, right? So we got the cover here, but then once you take off the cover, you can go inside, and there is the golden record with the record player underneath it and such. So the map is just on the front. It's the cover of the box that holds the golden record treasure. Great question. Great question. Thank you for asking that one from Ontario. Okay, that's all we got for today. So if you like this video, please click that thumbs up. Let me know you liked it. And if you're a fan of A Place Called Space, make sure you click that subscribe button down here below so you can come back for more future episodes on all things outer space. I'm trying to get us an astronaut to come on and talk to us in the next couple of weeks. So when that comes out, make sure you have your astronaut questions ready so you can ask him what it's like to be in space, or her. I'm trying to get a couple astronauts. We'll see which one I'll be able to hopefully come and talk to you guys about what it's like to be an astronaut in outer space. So have a great weekend, but come back on Tuesday for another lesson of A Place Called Space at 9 a.m. Pacific time, or for all my friends in Central Time in the United States, Kevin at 11. I love that. It rhymes. It sounds cool. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, never stop learning. Take care, everyone.